back again with another banger video. This is Bookman Banana Buddha Basya, right? So this video is about my experience being celibate and sober in 2021. Now, I feel like it kind of needs a bit of backstory. Like, why? Because, like, for some people, like, why would you ever? You're a sexy black man. Why would you ever be celibate or sober, right? I know what you're thinking, right? But ever since I'll go all the way back. Ever since high school, right? Freshman year, I basically always been around women or had a girlfriend or was talking to a girl, like either romantically or platonically. Ever since freshman year of high school, majority of my circle has been women, right? And like I've always been in and out of like relationships, right? So like I never really had a time when I was just like by myself, you know? And I'm like, after a while, I was like, why? Like, I feel like if you experience one side, you almost miss how the other side feels. I'm like, damn, well, I should just spend more time alone, right? So in 2020, wait, how did this go? Yeah, in 2020, I was planning to be celibate and sober the whole year, right? But it didn't work out because one of my friends came over, we got close. Right, it didn't work out. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, if this is not gonna work, then I went to the other side of the spectrum. I'm like, if I'm not gonna be celibate and sober the whole year, then let me just like open up, right? Just explore your options, right? So then, this is when I was studying. I actually really love this moment in my life because at that time I was studying all the relationship and marriage and sexual like dynamics basically, right? So I was studying, firstly I was studying from like the yogic dharmic monks like the like Brahmacharyas. Brahma means God and Charya means path, right? So it basically means a path to go towards the divine. And like in modern context that means celibacy, right? But for the yogis back then, it was more so how to control all your senses and control yourself by default. So a proxy to that is controlling your like sexual energy as well. So they would just say like, so and like they're like on the extreme, like they don't even look or speak or read or look at anything with women. So that was like extreme. But I was studying just to get where their like psychology was, right? Because Nikola Tesla and Yogi Vivekananda, right? They had like such profound like mental and spiritual capabilities, and then they said that like it's because like they didn't give their creative energy to like women. They just focused on like the path and the journey. And like you would hear this kind of like narrative amongst like men, even men who like box, and say that they like wouldn't have sex before that to just like channel all their energy into it, right? And even people in business would say that they would abstain for a bit, just like focus on a goal. So I'm like, that sounds pretty interesting. So I was being influenced by them for a while because I was also around like the Hare Krishnas a lot. So there was a lot of like this channel your energy to like the higher chakras and activate the Ojja chakra, like all this spiritual talk, all that spiritual talk I was into, right? But also I was studying sex magic from the Western like mind frame, right? Like the Western like occultists like coming from like the Aleister Crowley branch. No, I don't agree with a good portion of what his lifestyle was, but a lot of sex magicians, they have learned from it, right? So I was studying from the Brahmacharya monks in the East, and I was studying from the sex magic occultists from the West, right? And it's funny because they both said they got the same benefits. I'm like, this Brahmacharya monk is saying that he has mental clarity and spiritual power from not abstaining from women, not be around them. The sex magic practitioner says that he has occult powers and all this power from like just being with a ton of women. So I'm just like, I was befuddled. I'm like, so how do I gain my power? Like, how do I increase my spiritual energy, more or less, right? And I was also studying like polyamory. My bad, the door working. Damn, she can really work. Okay, it's cool. I was also studying polyamory, polygamy, polyandry, and polygyny, right? So non-monogamy is the umbrella term, right? That's basically like a not monogamous structure. And then polygamy means multiple spouses. Polygyny means a man with a multiple women. Polyandry is a woman with multiple men. And polyamory is multiple loves, right? So I was studying the entire spectrum of everything, right? And then I went to this event called like damn, it's all right. So I am going to get to the celibacy and sober part. And also, ever since I was young, ever since freshman year, I've been like drinking and like smoking ever since freshman year in high school. So it's like as I was always in a relationship and I was always with a substance, more or less, right? So this was the main inspiration. I might tell like the rest of those stories another time, but so I wasn't able to do it in 2020. So I went to the other side and I was just like becoming like a lot more open. And also with my previous relationships, they were gradually more open. So it was like I was gradually having these experiences where everything was opening up more, right? So I'm like, all right, let me explore. And I explored like a lot because it's one thing to read a book, but it's another thing to actually experience it, right? So I experienced like a lot of different things to see like how I felt about it, right? And then it's funny because the more I studied and the more I experienced, the more reserved I became. You feel me? Like the more people I like was around, the more I learned. I'm like, probably this isn't for me. Like probably this isn't fulfilling. You feel me? Probably like being with all these people isn't what I want. So then 2020 ended. No, 2020. Yeah, 2020 ended. All right. I'm like, bam. In 2021, sober, celibate the entire year, right? So then I did it. Well, all right. I did it except like this one point when I was like, you're not my friend. But besides that, I did it. Like for a general, like no drugs, no substance, no like vaginal sex entire year. I got that right, 100%. And at the December 31st, my friend in Florida, my friend's sister, she brought like weed and alcohol, right? So I'm all right, let me try it out. I've been sober the whole year. Let me like smoke and drink. Let me see how this sobriety stuff goes. So like I drank a beer. I was just like a bit more loose, like a few words I would have kept to myself, I expressed. I smoked. I was just like a little buzzing. It's like it's crazy because when I used to smoke and take substances, right? I used to have like such a. I remember the first time I smoked, I was like, wow, like, and at first I was like, oh yeah, this is nothing. I walked down the block. I'm like, yo, take me home, bro. Like, yo, take me. I was just like done. And then I used to like edibles, like drinking, acid. I tried shrooms a few times. So I've tried a lot of like substances in my past life, and I feel like I always question if I hadn't seen the walls melt. I feel like I probably wouldn't have been who I am now. Because once you see the walls melt, you kind of perceive the world different. Like the world isn't the same anymore, right? But then I did this when I was so young. Like I tried acid when I was like 16, and I'm like, damn, your brain isn't even fully functioning then. You feel me? But then again, it did open me up. But it opened me up like, I don't know. I wouldn't be. I'm always kind of flipped about that. Because a part of me would like say, oh, I would like to wait until like I'm older to take the substances. But if I did, I wouldn't be who I am now. But last year, honestly, the main thing I gained, confidence in my self-love. Like I could say I love myself without a shadow of a doubt. Because I spent an entire year mainly by myself. You feel me? No drug that's like changing my mental state. No like woman that's changing my mental state. I was well, there was woman, but like there was no like sex like changing my mental state. There was none of that. And like I was like, but it's weird. It's like now I'm confused. I'm perplexed. I'm very perplexed. It's like I do so much different practices that I'm not sure what is making me feel good. I'm not sure if it's like the meditation, is it the breath work, is it the fruit, is it like the celibacy, is it the like sobriety, is it the reading, is it the audios I'm listening to, is it the people I'm around, is it the earthing, is it the sun gazing? Like there's so much. But all I say is I do feel really good. I do feel really good. And I would recommend, especially for men, you don't gotta do it a long time, but you should be able to like channel your energy. But the thing is now, right? I feel like celibacy is like the initial stage, but I feel like the deeper path comes to when you add a partner. Like they say, like there's a poison and like the antidote. Like there's the monk route, and then there's the inner secret route. Like the monk is just like they will abstain from everything, right? But then the tantrika, they could take this quote unquote poison and like make an antidote from it. You feel me? They say like the monk route is like basically like picture like a mountain, right? The monk route is like basically like gradually walking up the mountain, right? And then the tantric power is like basically climbing up it. Climbing up it is more risky. Like being with all these different substances and all these different like sexual experiences, it can be a bit more risky here and there. But it's like it depends on you. Like I always say this. Like sex, food, lust, hunger. Lust and hunger are the most primal and ancient of human connections. So I feel like if you could transmute or transcend those energies, to me, you're a god. To me, in my opinion. Because those are usually the things that keep humans in this in a like stuck in that energetic state, right? So if you could like, it's either some people they will abstain from the sex and just like fast all the time, right? But then there's other people who will like eat like just high quality food and have sex with people that are like a more like a spiritual, like a tantric perspective, right? And like, all right, so tantric, I know that there's a lot more meaning to it, but for our general conversation now, how the Western mind views it, it's actually like a whole religious like sect, but in the West it does view it as sex, but whatever, right? If you have that perspective, I feel like you could elevate, and I feel like I've seen it. So now I'm not really celibate nor sober, right? Because I've had experiences. And like, it's funny because it's like the practices I do in my meditation is the same thing with sex, more or less. You feel me? Because it's like I literally remember this scene. I'm like, this is when the breathwork comes in handy. And like I was getting like intimate with somebody, right? And I'm like, this is when the breathwork actually comes in handy. I'm literally doing breathwork while like getting intimate. And like literally it made the experience last way longer. Like that's when the concentration, the breathwork, the eye gazing, the intent, the rituals. I feel like doing it on your own, you have to, right? But once you bring it to a partner in the sexual context, it's like, oh, level 2, nigga. We on the next level. You feel me? But yeah, I don't. Now I'm fairly content. Like I could drink and smoke, like, but it doesn't really do anything for me. The thing with sex is more so who, like, it's more so who and are what levels are they willing to reach. Because that's the other thing. It's like, ever since, I can never look at sex the same. Like, it's honestly, like, it's almost sad. Because, like, there's, like, vanilla shit. And then there's, like, kinky BDSM shit. And then there's a cult shit. Like, there's people, like, channeling, like, spirits at midnight to, like, do this energy while they, like, there's, like people manifesting, like, little, like, there's, like, different energies. People channeling, like, different energies and all that. So, like, after reading what these occultists are doing with sex, I'm like, damn. Anything else feels like not mundane. Like it's still so fun, but it's like I wish people realize there's like entirely different. It's like in society they give you this amount of options, right? But it's actually like this amount of options, but they just never tell you, right? So my thing is not just like the sex, it's more so who is it with? Like, is it a person I could actually build something substantial with out of the sex, right? Or because if not, then it's like it's not even going to be fun. Like if I don't generally like love to be in, it'll be cool, but it's like to reach the like spiritual and like mental states I want to reach, there has to be like more energy into it. Like there has to be like the trust, the like accountability, like the building, like the intimacy, like the like knowing the fan. Like there has to be I feel like having a lot more in it makes it a lot more. Like, all right, perfect example, right? Fruit. I like my fruit extra ripe. Extra ripe. You see, I be seeing people peel these hard ass fucking bananas and shit. No, I like it for when the fruit is like almost falling. I like when you touch the fruit, it's almost like melting in your hands. And that's the same thing I feel like with like relationships and like sex. You feel me? Like I want it to be, I should have like so much love and joy that even when we touch each other, it's like, oh my god, it's like you like lose your fucking mind and shit. You know what I mean? So that's really my golden intent. But I should give you some looks. All right, so Cupid's Poison Arrow by Marina Robinson. That's like a start off book. There's a few I'll probably recommend in like another video when I'm more advanced in those phases. But yeah, that's where I'm at now. I haven't really drunk or smoked besides the 31st. I got like intimate with like one like person, and I'm pretty centered. Like my main thing, I'm trying to focus on my goals, regardless like who is in or out of my life or what is in and out of my life. Just focusing on my goals. But yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really content. And yeah, I hope this gives you probably a bit perspective on your journey in your life, whatever you're doing. And yeah, know your energy is sacred. Know your body is a temple. And be around people. Don't only be around people who treat you well. Be around people who treat themselves well. Because people who know that they are a temple, that energy is going to proliferate. But yeah, I love you. Appreciate you. Peace.